Hey everybody, it's Magic Prepper, and I'm here with Midway USA, and I wanted to talk about the first 3 accessories you'll need for your AR-15 if you want to properly set it up for self-defense. Usually when you buy a brand new AR-15, it shows up like this, relatively bare bones. No sights, no accessories at all, and generally about 1 magazine. So a lot of new AR-15 owners are probably wondering what to do next, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. Now, all the rifles you see here on these barrels are completely different. Different cartridges, different setups, different operating systems, but they all have something in common. And that's that they have the 3 most important accessories you're going to need for any defensive rifle. So, what are those going to be? Well, you're going to need sights, because you need to be able to acquire your target. You're going to need a sling, so you can keep the rifle on your body. And you're going to need a light so you can positively ID a threat in the dark. So let's talk about each one of those accessories, explain why you need them, and hopefully that gives you some ideas about how to move forward on your defensive AR-15 setup. One of the first things you need on any defensive rifle is going to be a sight. You need a way to aim the gun. And of course, there's so many options out there for sights nowadays that it's almost unlimited in the sense of what you can choose from. So some guns might come with iron sights, and that's always a good starting point, and you can learn quite a bit by training on iron sights first. But these days, you can actually acquire certain red dot sights for cheaper than a pair of iron sights. So with all the options, there's really no reason not to have a sighting system, but it's also 100% a necessity and a requirement. You have to be able to properly engage a target with a defensive rifle. You can't shoot a rifle that doesn't have sights. So the very first thing you're going to need, no matter what, is a way to aim. And your sighting system is going to make a huge difference when it comes to your ability to get rounds on target proficiently. So after you get a sighting system like this, an EOTech EXPS 3-2, or maybe something more affordable like a Sig Sauer Romeo 5, or some good old iron sights, what do you do next? Having a sling on your defensive rifle, AR-15 or not, is extremely important. It keeps it to your body, it helps secure it to your body so that it can't be taken from you easily, and it allows you to go hands-free in case you need to open a door, get in a vehicle, who knows what else it is you might need to use your hands for, but in my personal life, I find my hands to be relatively useful. So having a sling, especially one of good quality, is a good idea. And for example, on this particular rifle, we have a Magpul MS1 sling. Magpul makes really good stuff. I trust them when it comes to a lot of their accessories, including furniture, but their slings are nice. And they have a lot of the things that you want. And personally, I suggest getting a 2-point sling. And that's exactly what this is. And you have 1 point connecting to the rifle right here. And then for this particular rifle, I have another point connecting right here at the rear of the receiver. And these are QD sling swivels, which allow you to remove the sling much easier than if they were to be looped through the furniture or something like that. And the only other thing you might need is a QD mount, which you can find pretty easily from Magpul as well as from other brands. But once you have a way to mount your sling, including in many ways or in many cases on your stock, you can be up and running. And I look at a rifle sling very similarly to how I look at a holster for a pistol. It's a way to have it on me without having to physically hold it, and then if I need it, I'm able to access it much more quickly. So a sling for your defensive AR-15 or rifle is extremely important. And like I said, I suggest a 2-point, and definitely look at getting something of decent quality because you want to make sure it holds up. So you've got your sights, you've got your sling. What's the third feature or accessory that you want to get on your defensive rifle? Now I know what you're thinking. Why'd you get so dark, Magic Prepper? Well, I wanted to demonstrate that the third accessory you need on your defensive rifle is going to be a white light. And it's extremely important that you get one of these white lights, even if you've heard some of the old internet lore telling you that it makes you a target. So here's the thing. Unfortunately for you and I, we're the good guys. And it's our responsibility to make sure that any threats we engage in a self-defense scenario are actually threats. And a white light allows you to identify a target positively in a darker environment. and positive identification is a necessity when it comes to any self-defense situation involving a rifle. So, a weapon-mounted light is the third most important accessory that you need. And one like this right here, which is the Streamlight ProTac rail mount, is a very good option, and it's very inexpensive. Of course, some weapon-mounted lights can be extremely expensive, but Streamlight is definitely one of those brands that seems to have built a pretty decent reputation considering their price point. So, although the other two accessories I would say are more of a priority, this is definitely number 3 on the list. And don't let people talk you out of it because of making yourself a target. I think it's more important that you can see the target that you might have to deal with rather than trying not to become one yourself. So let's just talk about everything we just went over and kind of wrap things up. So once again, we have sights, slings, lights. Those are the first 3 things that I would put on a defensive rifle, and that's exactly the order I would go in as well in terms of priority. So hopefully you found this video useful, especially if you're new to owning an AR-15 or similar rifle for defensive purposes. If you have any questions at all or any other suggestions or advice for those who might be new to this, please leave them in the comments below. And hopefully we could do some more of these here in the future.